105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app.
O'Connor and Company.
It's 6:37 on O'Connor and Company. Thanks for tuning in here as we get you going the right way this Tuesday morning in the nation's capital. At 7:05, Gavin Pepper. He is a politician in Ireland as we saw things erupt there. What's going on in the Emerald Isle? He'll give us a first-hand account. 7:35, Elizabeth McGeegan. She's with Philanthropy Roundtable about today's Giving Tuesday events. And then at 8:05, our pal, Sean Spicer. It's Larry O'Connor alongside Patrice Onwuka, jamming out. Good morning, Patrice.
I am. Good music. Good morning.
Let's give you a quick roundup of what's about to happen in Delray. Alexandria City Council today proposing a bill. Listen to how NBC Washington sums it up.
If you walk through some neighborhoods in Alexandria, you'll see a lot of signs like these ones saying no to zoning changes.
We're not interested in having, for example, fourplexes built in these neighborhoods.
Under a new zoning for housing proposal by the city of Alexandria, there would be more density in single-family neighborhoods and high-rise condos and rentals in industrial areas.
In theory, across the street we could have a restaurant. I asked, can you have a gas station? And I never got an answer.
City Council says the goal is to make homes more affordable for all. They first unveiled the plan in September and will vote November 28th.
Is that really the goal, just to make things more affordable? Also, Alexandria, Delray neighborhood, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? It's a lovely neighborhood, and housing real estate value is very high. Why do this other than the obvious answer, which is to get more people in there for more tax revenue so the city can spend more money on stupid things? Well, let's find out about this from a person who's against it. He's trying to actually push back on this effort to change the face of Delray. He's Nate Hurto. He's with Save Delray. You can join that Facebook group. Nate, thanks for joining us.
No, thanks for having me.
First of all, how does this vote go? This is purely in the hands of the city council, and they vote on it at the meeting tonight?
That's correct, yeah. They will be voting on it tonight. There were two sessions of public input on the 14th and the 18th of November. And we saw overwhelming opposition there, just like we have in every survey or questionnaire that's come out.
Yeah, 81.5% of respondents in the survey are against this thing. So, I mean, there's no way the politicians will go for it with that kind of overwhelming opposition, is there?
Well, I hope that they will listen to the constituents and that they will take that feedback and really divide this bill, because there are some things that are positive here, right? I think we should encourage some of these vacant office buildings to be repurposed into housing. I think that's a great opportunity for us. But if you look at some of the really significant and frankly not impactful changes, especially those to single family, you get into a really divisive issue that I hope that they will see what's going on in the community and choose to leave that portion alone and really focus on the areas that have overwhelming support, because there are quite a few areas of zoning for housing that do have support.
So, Nate, I think that was going to be my follow-up question. What are these proposals? You mentioned converting maybe commercial real estate into potential residential. What about building multiple structures on maybe a particular lot? What are some of the other proposals that you and others could get behind? And do you think that there is enough will on the city council to maybe try to chop up this proposal rather than go through with it?
Well, I think the office to residential conversion is by far the clear one that everybody can get behind. We went through a building rush in office space, and then we've seen what's happened with work from home. So, that's one that I think is a bit of a no-brainer to help codify that. Where we really get into the issues is when we start looking at the rhetoric around what taking an existing single-family home is, demolishing it and building a fourplex or whatever on that property. The reality of what we're seeing in Delray, you can just walk around and see this, just like you're seeing it in Arlington that passed a similar initiative, is that you'll have, corner of Duncan and Mount Vernon Avenue is a great example. $700,000 single-family bungalow was demolished, 4 $1.4 million townhouses put in their place. They're grossly out of scale for the neighborhood. They loom over the neighborhood. Every one of these meetings, somebody has called out a single-family farmhouse that was raised to put in a massive duplex with 2 massive ADUs directly across from the Duncan Library. So the reality of what we're seeing, not the theoretical academic advocate view of what could happen. The reality of what we're seeing is bigger, more expensive houses replacing smaller, more affordable ones.
You will hear people cite this issue and say, well, listen, every part of Northern Virginia right now is being inundated with a population surge. Part of that is because of the opening the floodgates of border crossings and illegal immigration, and people are being relocated here. We're seeing a lot of communities. Their makeup in the communities are absolutely transformed because of this influx of people. Why should this is kind of a not in my backyard thing. Why should Delray be protected when other parts of Alexandria and other parts of Fairfax County and other parts of Northern Virginia are being affected by it?
Well, I don't think that that's an argument that I've heard on either side. And in fact, if you look at the census data and in fact our own dues payments to the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments, our population is actually contracting in Alexandria. I think Alexandria is an incredibly welcoming community. Where people are really concerned here is not that there's going to be more neighbors or any of these conversations. It's the infrastructure is in desperate need of updates. Anybody who lives in someplace that's flood prone knows that. Our schools have 140 open positions. One of the things that strikes me is we had one of the density advocates that presented to the council was a school teacher and talked about how it was only because of generational wealth that he could afford to live here. Yet the answer is sitting there with the city council, then just pay your employees a wage that allows them to live here. That's not part of the conversation, which makes me question the legitimacy of the concern for that class of people. While we'll pull at the emotional heartstrings of firefighters and first responders and school teachers and all of these
that's what they do.
Really vital resources. What they're not saying is, and we are also going to back that up by paying them a wage that allows them to live here.
Right.
Let's just be clear, right? City council has no power to reduce the cost of housing.
Is there still a chance for people to have their voices heard on this, Nate? How can people make sure that they register their opinion before the vote tonight?
There's not a lot of time. The best thing that you can do is email each of the members of council. Alexandria's got a great website that allows you to email them directly. I don't know if they'll have time to read it before the vote.
Well, if you put it in
it's
pretty easy. Just put it in the subject line; they'll see it. Flood the inbox, and your voice will be heard in one way or the other. Make it pithy. Don't write a big 6,000-word essay.
All caps.
Just no on this. No on this. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it, Nate. I appreciate you joining us.
Thank you so much, Nate.
Thank you.
It's
you have a great day.
6:40.